The J&O 3.0 driver side oil separator that we're talking about here today is going to be for the 2014 through 2018 V8 Silverado or Sierra owner who is looking for the ultimate protection in regards to capturing the oily vapors produced during combustion from being rerouted back into your truck's intake tract, gumming up the engine in the process. Now the J&O will feature that billet aluminum 3-ounce container here in black, complete with factory style hoses and fittings, all for right around that high $100 price point. Install is going to be a plug and play job here, gang, so figure a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, maybe an hour, if not less, to get everything knocked out from start to finish. And if you hang with me for a bit, we'll walk you through that job later in the video. So if you guys didn't know, your truck has what is called a PCV system, or positive crankcase ventilation. Now the purpose of this system is to regulate and remove the fumes produced during combustion from the engine crankcase to help alleviate that crankcase pressure, which could otherwise lead to things like oil leaks or seal damage. Now because laws do mandate that the PCV system be sealed, the engine has to use vacuum to draw these vapors out of the crankcase and then plumb them back into the intake tract where they are to be burned off during the next combustion cycle. And while this all sounds good in theory, and yes, this is pretty much what happens, oftentimes these oily vapors end up leaving residue in your intake manifold, and even on the back side of your intake valves, which can lead to things like valve coking or deposit buildups over the years. Now, just to clarify again, this is the driver's side that we're talking about here today. I would argue the passenger side typically is going to do most of your heavy lifting in regards to being the more productive side, if you will. And hey, if you haven't already considered or installed a passenger side separator, you can also check one of those out here on the site from J&L or maybe somebody else. Now, I would argue here the driver's side is going to be a great addition or a great complement to that passenger side option and would equate to basically the ultimate in protection with both installed for both your 6.2 or your 5.3 powered ride. But with all that out of the way, how does this little guy from J&L do its thing? Well, basically that oily vapor is going to pass through the PCV system of your truck and then into the J&L separator. Now at that point, the solids present in this vapor, basically those little tiny microscopic particles of oil and unburnt fuel and other crap, get caught up in the aluminum honeycomb and stainless steel mesh material at the top of the separator, and then basically isolates it and collects it down in the canister below, while still allowing fresh, clean air to pass through the PCV system. Now, as far as emptying this guy is concerned, well, that little knurled bottom here helps you unscrew things. J&L claims every 5,000 to 7,000 miles is probably your best practice. It's been my experience with having these installed on my own personal trucks. Every 1,000 to 2,000 miles is not a bad idea because you might be surprised just how quickly these little guys can fill up. Now, when it does come time to empty everything out, just do so responsibly. Don't pour them down a drain or in the yard or anything crazy like that. And as always, guys, read up on the numerous 4- and 5-star reviews back on the product page if you haven't done so already on the J&L, formerly known as JLT. A lot of good feedback from fellow 6.2 and 5.3 owners about running these on their rigs. It's a good way to get some real world feedback. Now, as far as your construction is concerned, well, very nice build here with the J&L, starting with that knurled billet aluminum canister we just talked about. 3 ounces is your capacity here. We got a laser etched logo right up top on the canister itself, along with your included bracket. This particular option does feature that stealthy black finish, kind of disappears under the hood a little bit more, but if you're the type of truck owner prefers maybe a little bit more flash under the hood, J&L does also offer their satin silver version that you can find here on the site instead. Now, one of the big pros for me with the J&L kits is that they do include the factory style fittings and hoses cut to length for you, which in turn will make for a very easy install, but also a factory-like fit and finish. Speaking of getting everything installed, guys, let's switch gears and touch on that install a little bit more here. Plug and play job for the most part. Again, you do have to mount the bracket itself for the canister. J&L does include all of your locations, hardware, all that good stuff, which will make this a very simple job. But to give you a better idea of just how easy things will be in the garage or driveway, feel free to check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown now.
Tools used for this installation: Phillips screwdriver, 13mm socket, 5/16 socket, 1/4" drive ratchet, and 1/4" drive extension. Hey guys, I'm going to walk you through the install of our J&L oil separator on our 2014 Chevy here. First thing we're going to do is remove our air box, so let's get started. So to uninstall our air box, first thing we're going to do is push up on these buttons here and pull our lines off our air box here. And you got one over here, same thing. You're going to push onto the clip. And once you push the clip, you'll hear it pop, and then you can slide these out of the way. Next, I'm gonna take a 5/16. I'm gonna get in here, loosen up our clamp off our throttle body, and the one over here that hooks up to the air box over here. Now once I get those two loose, we're just going to give it a snug, pull it off there, and that removes our air box. So now we're going to remove our PCB line, which is going to be a little difficult to see, but you have a connection back here and a connection down underneath your throttle body. You're going to push in the white tab on the connector and then pull up. It will release, and once you do that, you're going to be able to spin this, and once you spin it, it'll give you access to the white tab on the back here. You're going to push that in and feel it click, and then pull it out, and then fish it right out. It is a little tough to get to the back one, and you just got to make sure that you push that tab down. Once you turn it, it gives you better access to the tab. Now that we have this removed, we'll start installing our oil catch can. So now to start our install, we're going to remove this 13mm right here. This is where we're going to install our bracket. I'm going to take my bracket, install it just like that. I'm just going to snug it, not going to make it tight yet, so we can move it around. We're going to take our catch can with our 2 Phillips screws that they supplied, and you're going to want to line the C up with the C on this, so this writing goes just like this, and then we'll start one of our screws. And now start the other one. Once we got those two started, I'm going to take my Phillips screwdriver, and we'll tighten them up just like that. I'm going to move it somewhere right around there to start with. And now we'll start getting ready to install our lines. So now we're going to install our lines. You're going to want to look inside your lines. You're going to see there's some O-rings in here. I actually put a little oil inside there to help lubricate the O-rings. I also put some oil onto both of the fittings. It's going to help when this slides on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the outer one here that's closest to the 13mm on this side, and we're going to route that down through here, and then this is going to go and connect down to our bottom line, pretty much like that. We're going to take this one and route it down through here and fish it so we can hook it on to our line down here. And now push that one on. That's good. And then what we'll do now is we will adjust our canister where we want it and tighten that 13mm up. I'm going to put my canister back here a little bit, just like that. Take my 13mm, give it a good tight. Now we'll install our air box. Now we're going to take our air box and reinstall it. We'll start by getting it in place. Installing it on the throttle body, pushing it on, sliding our boot on over here. Once we got those two in place, I will reinstall our connector there and our other hose on this side. Take my 5/16. Tighten up our 2 hose clamps. That wraps up this review and install of our J&L 3.0 black oil separator driver side for 14 to 18 V8 Silverado and Sierra 1500s. Thanks for watching, and for all things Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.